day, I just need a break. I need a day. I just need a day.
All these days are just the worst.
I've implemented sweetest days in my life.
That's one.
Come on. It's an
How many times have you heard that, Jay?
And reach to higher planes.
You know what the good days
How
are?
many times have you heard that in the last several months? I just need a day. We just got a day last week. What do you mean you need another day?
Any day you get to take off work and school, that's a great day. But when they come up with these fake days that it falls on a Sunday or you can't take off work or school, it's just to sell greetings cards and flowers and stuff. That's the reason. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. You have to do it.
Summer Fridays. Summer Fridays are good. Where, you dress down, you get out of work early, people like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the poem, Paul.
Yeah,
It's a great poem.
I need a day.
Paul is very talented.
If you got to put something in your greeting cards later, let me know. I'll help you out.
You were in Tony and Tina's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
I just need some time to myself, Jay.
Done some.
I just need a minute.
I just need a minute, you know?
I get it, though.
For me.
Yes. He needs someone to do something for him in his life. I know the feeling.
I can't go home today.
Hey, are we done with Defense Wins Championships?
I'll get you a plane ticket out west, Jay.
Please do.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with
The Louis Bellina Show is weekdays, 11 to 2, and it's presented by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service. Two remarkable businesses, one great family. And on the Louis Bellina Show, sure, we talk Aggie football, basketball, baseball. We love our maroon and white. And we talk about the top stories, Astros and Rangers, and more. But on the Louis Bellina Show, basically, we really just like to have fun and hang out. Join us weekdays, 11 to 2, here on The Zone.
1, 2. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. Cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Texas Document Solutions.
A few years ago, Global Financial Partners in Huntsville decided to go with Sharp copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. Partner Brian Maston.
One of the best decisions we've ever made.
Why?
It's made our office run so much more smoothly. I am so much more efficient and don't have to worry about the printer and the scanner and the copier. It just does what it should do when it should do it.
Texas Document Solutions. Better technology, better pricing, better customer care. That all has its benefits.
We can get done what we need to when we need to.
Brian, would you recommend Texas Document Solutions to others?
Yes.
Because?
Because they've been great for us, and they'll be great for them too.
Things not so great with your document imaging vendor? Switch to Sharp copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. It's easy to do. Call 979-775-5500. 979-775-5500.
Texas Document Solutions.
979-775-5500.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon
and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is KCNE College Station, Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. Business at last week's Bryan City Council meeting included awarding a nearly $6.5 million contract to build a water tower.
There was no discussion before the 5-0 vote to build the tower on Bryan's west side in a residential neighborhood along Chick Lane, north of Villa Maria. The bowl of the 2 million gallon water tower will not be lit at night. Lights and entry doors will be directed downward. Landscaping and trees will provide screening. There will be no running equipment. Surrounding the tower and landscaping will be an 8-foot-tall intruder-resistant fence with brick columns. The council will decide later the logo on the white-colored bowl. Construction is expected to take 2 years. Bill Oliver, 1620, 94.5 WTAW.
Brazos County commissioners have taken the next step towards the possibility of getting broadband to the less than 10% of residents without high-speed internet. Commissioners last week awarded a $70,000 consultants contract. A Missouri company will be doing an assessment of the local broadband market and where the broadband gaps are in Brazos County. College Station police announced an arrest in an armed robbery of a convenience store Sunday night. 26-year-old Jonte Weber of Bryan is accused of entering the Valero store on Harvey Road near George Bush East and threatening the clerk with a gun. CSPD officers receiving a detailed description found Weber a short time later inside a nearby apartment with the stolen merchandise and a gun. College Station's police chief tells the city council to be expecting in April more recommendations to increase safety in the Northgate district. This follows action the council took last summer. Since then, Chief Billy Couch says relationships with Northgate bar owners have improved.
Some of the issues we were seeing that we were going to put forth something to try to control, they've now controlled themselves. I think that they were very responsive to it. I think they've done a good job of trying to help us.
About 1% of the more than 85,000 calls for CSPD officers fell into 8 major crime categories. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
As a real estate agent in the Brazos Valley, we have a few questions for you. Do you desire to grow your business? Are you passionate about exceeding client expectations? Would you rather work with a local company backed by Compass, the largest independent brokerage in America? What are you waiting for? Lone Star Realty Group, a strong local brand with instant recognition, awaits your move. Contact William Sears at LoneStarBCS.com. Your success is just a click away. Lone Star Realty. Experience, integrity, results. An equal opportunity employer.
We're here with Jackson Rollo from Rollo Insurance. And Jackson, you guys have been around for a long time. You're the very best at what you do. But I ask you, why Rollo Insurance?
Well, we've been growing recently with over 45 offices in multiple states. But we haven't lost who we are. We're still super focused on being hyper-local and involved in the communities in which you're going to find a Rollo Insurance office. And we offer products like home, auto, life, health, and business insurance from some of the top carriers in our industry.
You name it, they do it. Visit RolloInsurance.com.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Aggie men's basketball has won 3 straight games and will get Arkansas at Reed Arena Wednesday night. Head coach Buzz Williams talked about his team's work ethic on his weekly radio show.
Where we've grown the most is being absorbed and consumed with how to go about our work, and let the result be a byproduct of all of the work.
You can hear the Buzz Williams Show every Monday night during the season at 7 on 1620 94.5 WTAW. You'll be able to hear the game Wednesday night on WTAW as well. Texas A&M softball junior Trinity Cannon has been named the Southeastern Conference Co-Player of the Week. The Forney, Texas native hit .667 with 2 doubles and a home run while driving in 6 runs on the weekend. Softball will look to continue their hot start to the season at the TexAgs Clearwater Invitational this week. The tournament runs Thursday through Saturday, and they'll take on Oklahoma State, Arizona, UCF, USF, and Nebraska. Game 1 will be Thursday at 9 a.m., and you can hear all of those games on Gospel 97.3. Aggie men's and women's swimming and diving are gearing up to host the SEC Championships this week. The men are ranked number 11, and the women are number 18. That event runs Tuesday through Saturday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louis Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Look inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Don't miss a single rant, guest, or moment. You can download or subscribe to any and all of your favorite shows inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. There's also a special selection where you can find select interviews from David, Louis, and Chip. Look up Zone interviews inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Download or subscribe, but don't miss out. Check out the Pod Center at zone1150.com.
If I'm gonna do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs Radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo? I do not stay at the Intercontinental.
All right, and we're off. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in here this Tuesday morning. I sometimes tell you guys it's a loaded show. Today is a freaking loaded show here on the program. We got a lot of stuff to get into. A&M has hired their running backs coach, Marquel Blackwell, who's coming from Ole Miss. We'll have some thoughts on that. Also, I found an article that had Jimbo's name in it. Oh, my goodness. So we'll talk about that as well. But let me kind of give you this run sheet right now. All right, so we got Sam Adams. And that's right. Big old Sam going to be joining the show. 8:35 a.m. Talk about what he's been up to in life, some A&M football. He'll be joining us. Looking forward to that. Billy Lucci at 9:05 to talk about the Blackwell hire. Trisha Ford in studio. Talk some softball at 9:20. They got a big weekend coming up. Lots of games. 5 games over a 3-day stretch. We're going to talk some track and field, but not it's going to be an interesting angle on this one, right? Not Coach Henry. We've got Coach Milton Mallard coming in and Coach Kurt Henry, the sprints and hurdles coach. So they're going to be coming in at 9:35. John Puglisi at 10:05. And Tom Hart at 10:35. So as you can see, a loaded show. It is the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations and our friend, confidant, and also therapist, Olin Buchanan with us this morning. OB, good morning.
Good morning.
What is your initial takeaway from the Marquel Blackwell hire?
Well, I know that Ole Miss led the SEC in rushing last year, and I think was number 3 in the country. So he must have been doing something right. He had Quinshawn Judkins,
a freshman,
lead the SEC in rushing, 1,500 plus yards.
Yep.
So he must be doing something right. And quite frankly, I don't know, was Quinshawn Judkins a major recruit? I mean, was he a 5-star guy? I really don't know.
I don't either, but I will say this. He also had Zach Evans, who we already know the kind of talent that Zach is. But both of those guys were in the top 6. Obviously, Judkins number 1 and Zach Evans number 6 in rushing in the SEC, 936 yards. He's, from all indications, a very good recruiter. He has worked the state of Texas before at the University of Houston for a couple seasons. It looks to be a really good hire.
It does. I mean, he does seem to check all the boxes, right? I have to admit, by the way, Quinshawn Judkins was a 3-star recruit according to 24/7.
Must be nice.
So that tells me, hey, maybe I can identify talent that others can't, or I can develop it. I can recruit it. So what else is there? Identify talent, recruit it, develop it. What else is there?
That's all you got to do.
And use it. So, and if it hurts Ole Miss, that's a bonus. I don't know if it will or not. My other takeaway is now you've taken a defensive coordinator from Ole Miss and a running backs coach from Ole Miss. You need to start beating Ole Miss.
You need to start beating Ole Miss. And I'm surprised Lane Kiffin hasn't tweeted anything, at least that I've seen in the last 24 hours, because he likes to make those little tweets about A&M at our expense when we do something well or something that he doesn't like take somebody from their roster or their staff.
Yeah, maybe he just hadn't got around to it yet.
It's coming.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know how you stop that is you go out and next, I don't even know what time it's game, and start winning.
Hey, Obi, I have a question for you about, I know the answer to this, but I'd just like to ask it out loud. When you're a journalist and you report somebody else's news, okay, unless a lot of people have it, I know that you could say reports out, and then the reports out kind of covers your bases. But when one guy breaks it and one guy's the guy with the story, shouldn't you source?
Absolutely.
There's I don't know, some site out there, I think Scoop, whatever, that they mention a report out, but it never mentioned Billy Lucci's name. And that just kind of bugged me because,
well, it's today's
internet, or
internet.
Today's media.
But you know what? It was like that before. There was a guy who worked for ESPN who was notorious for taking other people's stories.
He still does, right?
Well, he doesn't work for ESPN anymore.
No, but he's still a name in the business, right? Yeah.
And in fact, I think he became the subject of even a college class.
Really?
Yeah, they'd say, well,
this is what he does.
This is, they would actually point to this guy, for a long time. And then it finally got to ESPN started because they started catching so much backlash because of this guy that it started becoming first reported by.
Right.
But for years, ESPN wouldn't credit anybody. It was it's not news until we say it is. Dallas Morning News used to be like that back in the day as well.
Is that right? Well, I don't think anybody else had it. It was Billy, and he was first, and he
excuse me.
He had it, so props to Billy as always being first. And if you are a premium subscriber, you would have seen that.
What drives me crazy about Billy, and I understand why he does it, right? Because he's one of those guys that says we're going to be right before we're first and all those things. But I can't tell you how many times Billy has known something and told me, but he says until we get this further confirmation from I'm not going to report it, and then somebody else will hear something and put it out there.
Yep.
And then it'll turn out and they're like, hey, it's a big scoop. And I'm like, man, if back in the day when I was working for the Statesman, I'm reporting it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have as much ethics as Billy, which may be the first time it's ever been put in a sentence that Billy has more ethics than somebody else. But in this case, it's true.
Text message in 3, 2, and 1. Hey, I probably shouldn't rush this topic, but I think it was just interesting. I'm reading ESPN this morning, and there's a column written, College Football Coaching Hot Seat and Retirement Watch for 2023. Would you think that Jimbo's name was on that?
Hot seat? Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it was on there. From the SEC, it says, keep an eye on Jimbo Fisher in Texas at Texas A&M, Eli Drinkwitz, and Billy Napier at Florida. And it says possible retirement for Nick Saban, and he goes on to say, if Nick Saban were to win another national championship.
I've been hearing that for 5 years.
Or potentially if he were to lose again to Kirby. But those are the names to keep an eye out for next year. As for when it pertains to Jimbo, it says because of the number 6 class last year and going 5-7, and with his huge contract, is highly unlikely. But, if he has another bad year, he could be a name listed on there. And it says also this the Bobby Petrino hire has a lot of boomer bust potential in it.
Yeah, that's fair. I believe that there are those rich Aggies. I talked to not the rich ones, but I talked to the people that talk to the rich ones.
Yep.
And if they were so inclined, they could get the money together to buy out Jimbo's contract, as big as it is.
Well, I'm not even allowing myself to think that at the moment because I do believe this will be a much better year.
I believe that too, and I believe that there were circumstances, extenuating circumstances, obviously, around last year's disappointment. But the fact is, it was disappointment. And I used to say when the previous coach was here that there's nothing that a coach should need to be incredibly successful, football coach here, that A&M does not provide. And that's the same thing with Jimbo. 5-7 and losing to Appalachian State, I don't care how much you like the guy, that can never be acceptable here. All right, you can say, okay, there was a lot of crazy things happened this year. All right, you know what? Let's not have any more crazy because, you fired R.C. Slocum without ever having a losing season.
Yep.
You fired Kevin Sumlin. His worst season was 7-5. You fired him because you were constantly at 8. Well, now you got 5-7. It's really time for Jimbo Fisher to, and this kind of bothers me. He seems to bristle about all of a sudden when people say, there are expectations here. I asked him after he said the win over UMass was a great win. I said, how can you, on the one hand, say your aspirations are to win national championships, on the other hand, say beating the worst team in FBS by, and not looking good doing it is a great win. So it's time to start winning at a high level. If not now, when?
Well, he's not the only name listed on here.
But he's the only one we really care about.
No, I know, but I thought I'd give you another one just to maybe laugh a little bit. Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian on the list. Texas is 13-12 since he's been there, and no 10-win season, only 9-win season. But he didn't do that either.
he was asked last year at one time that because their record was, under 500, and he was asked about that, and he says, "I don't measure success on the record." I was like, well, that's funny because everybody else does.
Everybody else sure does. Dana Holgerson, another name on the list.
UH they underperformed on expectations last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, hadn't they been pretty good?
I think his first year and a half, 2 years weren't great there. I think he's entering year 4, if I remember correctly. And he had one really good year sandwiched, but last year was not great. Here's a little note that I found from Matt Hayes. Since OU and Texas announced that they were leaving for the SEC, their combined record is 30-21, including 13-12 in Big 12 games.
Yeah. They I know they have grandiose expectations, but when you're losing to Kansas, I'll never forget. I wish I could remember the guy's name, offensive lineman at Missouri, when all that broke about Texas and OU joining, and he said he was asked about it that day, and he just said, if a horns down is going to hurt your feelings, I don't know if this is the place for you. And I thought, that was the best quote of the year, I thought.
Yeah, that was good. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can text us on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150, 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas Banking, the website, amb.com. We go behind the glass and say hello to Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, sir.
Morning, y'all. How's it going?
I'm all right, buddy. How are you?
I'm a little tired. Had a late road trip last night. Did a little play-by-play and got another game tonight, but I'm doing good. We're rolling along.
Busy guy.
Yeah.
What's on your mind this AM?
I'm excited for this weekend with A&M softball and baseball. It's going to be a good test for A&M softball, I think. I was surprised to see them jump into the rankings in the top 25, but they're going to get tested this week for sure. Got a couple of top 25 matchups in the tournament they'll be playing in. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up, and I'm excited to hear from Coach Ford later today.
Yeah, they got 3 top 25 matchups. They've got
against number 3 Oak State, right?
Yeah,
that's the big one.
Thursday at 9 a.m. Oklahoma State. Then Friday at 9 a.m. versus number 15 Arizona, number 18 UCF on Friday at 6, USF Saturday, and also Nebraska on Saturday afternoon. Those are back-to-back 9:30 and 12:30 games. So busy for sure. Number 25 in the D1 softball polls. We go to the News and Social Center. Love is in the air for Eric Casares. Hello, Eric.
Hello. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. Caller, hello. What's up, man?
Oh, not too much. Just got back. Had a long week. Left on Wednesday to Boston. Just got back on Sunday night. Missed a little bit of the Super Bowl. I didn't miss it. I watched it on the bus ride because I couldn't miss the Super Bowl, but didn't actually get to sit down in a house and watch it with my friends until like the end of the third quarter. So it was a busy weekend.
I think it's for good reason. I'm looking at this note that was sent to me. Eric Cassar set the 5,000-meter school record with 13:42.54.
So what do you eat before you run? I mean, I know there's sure a lot of pasta. That's what that's what we hear. But do you put anything in it?
No, I mean, it's like pretty simple carbs, like pasta, rigatoni, chicken parmesan.
So you can't have the chicken. You can have the chicken.
Yeah. I like to add protein. I don't just like to eat straight carbs. I mean, I like protein.
Up in Boston, you put some lobster in it, and
oh yeah, I did have seafood the first night we were there, but not the night before the race, just in case,
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that would sit well.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a late night. I didn't race. I was supposed to race at I think 9 or no, it was 8:30, and I didn't end up racing until 10:30. They were so behind on schedules, a chaotic meet.
Yeah. Hey, I know that you want to talk a little love. We'll do that at the end of the hour, but why don't we get in a couple of headlines before we hit a break?
Yeah, so first thing, number 18, Texas A&M women's swimming and diving is hosting the 2023 SEC Championships at the Rec Center Natatorium starting Tuesday, today, through Saturday, February 18th. Also, the men are hosting as well. They have been nationally ranked all season. 4 different Aggies hold top 30 times in the nation this season. 55 new personal bests among 23 different swimmers. That's all I got so far.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Eric sent me a text. He never does this. He's like, hey, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Yeah. I want to holler at some girls. Oh. I was like, what? No, he didn't phrase it like that. He said some things he's in love with, right? Is that how you phrased it?
Yeah. You got to give a little bit of love to some of the athletes out there in the sports world.
I cannot tell you how much I detest Valentine's Day or just the concept of it. Hate it.
I don't know how to respond to that because how about this? I enjoy telling my daughters and my wife how much I love them.
You do that every day.
Yeah, you do that every day. But I enjoy having a day that I can. But I agree with you. Like I got to go spend extra money and do this. I don't want to do that.
Go to your break, and I'll complain about it later.
All right, we'll complain about it right now. Let's talk Caprock Health System. So Olin may end up in the ER because he tells people he doesn't like Valentine's Day. The women are going to be waiting right outside of TexAgs to beat him up. His ribs are going to be hurting. Where are you going to go, Olin?
Caprock.
Yep. And what are they going to make you do? They're going to make you feel better?
They're going to make you feel better, and they're going to get me right in, right away. I'm not going to have to sit around and wait.
Yeah, emergency care, you don't have to sit around.
No, and it's really nice rooms, too.
Very nice rooms.
See the doctor right away. I know this because I've been there a couple times.
You've been there, so you know. You've gotten beat up for Valentine's before. That's what happens when you go to Caprock. They are awesome. They've got the most advanced CT scanners in the region, and they are awesome. And they can detect blockages developing in arteries with heart, 99% sensitivity. And their sole purpose, as OB told you a moment ago, is to make you feel better. When you get in there, they want you to get out and feel much better about yourself. 2 convenient, state-of-the-art locations designed for patient healing and family friendliness. You've got Caprock Hospital in Bryant and Caprock 24-hour emergency center in College Station. They both have 0 wait times for emergency care. You'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room. It is Caprock Health System. You've got Caprock Hospital in Bryant and Caprock 24-hour emergency center in College Station.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Go see them at their new location on Highway 6 in Rock Prairie by Scott and White. Always fresh, never frozen. Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Hardcore Dynamix, a Texas A&M co-ed a cappella group, presents Acapalooza at Rudder Auditorium on Saturday, February 18th at 6 p.m. Find the event with a ticket link on WTAW's community calendar at WTAW.com. A benefit event supporting Leslie Judson, a high school senior battling cancer, is Saturday, February 25th at the VFW in Hearn. Come out for a bake sale, silent auction, and dance. Her fight is our fight. Mending Hearts is a local nonprofit that provides support for children, families, and individuals who are grieving the loss of a loved one. A variety of free support groups are available. Visit mendingheartsgriefcenter.org for more information. Community Calendar is brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Hi, it's Jenny from Big Deals. Today is Valentine's Day, and we want to show you how much we care. All day today, save an additional 15% off your order. No code needed. Why the extra savings? Because, well, we love our customers. Shop local, buy local, and save big this Valentine's Day with big deals.
Shop the sale today, only at AggielandBigDeals.com.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because, well, it works, and because people who have joint pain are getting real, lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Hey, it's David Nuño, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. If you've got ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids or surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover the remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for folks just like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. Don't put this off any longer. Spring is coming. You want to enjoy all that life has got to offer. Call QC Kinetics now. Get a free consultation with a local medical professional. That's QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000.
The Louis Bellina Show is weekdays, 11 to 2, and it's presented by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service. Two remarkable businesses, one great family. And on the Louis Bellina Show, sure, we talk Aggie football, basketball, baseball. We love our maroon and white. And we talk about the top stories, Astros and Rangers, and more. But on the Louis Bellina Show, basically, we really just like to have fun and hang out. Join us weekdays, 11 to 2, here on The Zone.
Got some headphone issues going on here in studio. We'll try to fix that here at the break before we get Sam Adams on the hotline. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in and texting in on the A&B text line. It is the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U. OB, it is now time for our big shot of the week. And I picked a couple softball players and a basketball player. You're more than welcome to add in whomever you want. Do you want me to start or you want to start?
Well, I got somebody right in mind, probably the same guy you did. How do you not acknowledge the big shot that was Wade Taylor?
Yep, that was my basketball guy.
I mean, he probably – well, look, he had a really strong case to be SEC Player of the Year of the week. He wasn't, but he averaged 22.5 points and I think it was 5.5 assists and just had 3 turnovers all week, shot 15 of 16 to free throw line, 9 of 18 from three-point range. I mean, he was spectacular.
He was spectacular.
Very definition of the big shot.
Look, the Aggies need somebody to score when Boots is off, and the front court's been really good recently. It depends if it's Henry or if it's Julius. Wade was the one about 2 weeks ago that was falling a little bit behind, just with a little bit of a slump. He is out of that slump. He is leading the way. He's hitting open three-point shots. And, the one that keeps coming to mind is the one he missed that almost went in that would have made the game be completely over. But regardless, he has played such a great ball. And one of the things that Buzz said yesterday that I think is very true, he's being more patient. He's reading the game, right? Something that a lot of guys, there may be a shot that you can hit because it's an open shot, but read the situation, right? Read the time. Read what is going on right now. If it makes more sense to pass it back around, attack differently, he's doing that, and he's being a little bit more patient with the ball.
Yeah, I think the only point of criticism ever on Wade was that sometimes he forced things that he didn't have to.
Yep.
And it does look like he's taking a step back to slow down a little bit, and he's playing harder is never an issue for him. He plays hard all the time, but he's also playing really smart right now.
Yep. Let's do a couple softball names because I think they deserve their love as well. The co-SEC Player of the Week is Trinity Cannon. She was huge for Texas A&M this past weekend, and batted .667. 11 runs scored, 8 hits, 6 RBI, also had 2 doubles, a home run, 8 walks over 6 innings at the Invitational this past weekend. She had a 1.083 slugging percentage and 810 on-base percentage, her first SEC weekly honor. And she basically started nearly every game in 2022 at third base and now made the switch to first base. So congratulations to her.
Big number. So I guess that means she went 8 of 12 for the weekend, 667.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good math right there, my friend. How about Emily Levitt? 7 innings, 4 hits, 8 Ks, 1 walk, I learned English yesterday, and no runs. And I got to give Nick Savage some props because he has had his eye on softball since they started. And he's the one yesterday we were having a little post-show meeting at the lunch. You know, we go upstairs and we eat and kind of talk about tomorrow's show. And he's like, we got to talk about this Emily Levitt, who was phenomenal. So, Nick, I thank you so much for keeping your eye on the softball team.
Man, go out and pitch a shutout against Michigan State.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I don't know how good Michigan State is.
Doesn't matter.
But it's a shutout.
It's a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a name. By the way, thoughts and prayers. I know that's not what people want to hear, but the crazy situation that last night, I didn't read about it until this morning, that happened at Michigan State. Was it 3 were killed, 5 injured, and I guess the shooter took his own life.
Yeah.
There's video evidence of him like walking. I guess somebody shot him when he was leaving the situation and looking as calm as day.
I don't get it.
No.
Don't understand it.
Yeah. Sorry to end the segment on a sad note, but the Michigan State did jar my memory there. All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Radio, Sam Adams. Try to catch up with a bunch of former players. We're going to catch up with the big man that is Sam Adams. What is he? 14-year NFL career, 3-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. Did awesome at Texas A&M, part of that wrecking crew. We'll talk to him about that. But right now, we're talking QC Kinetics because they are regenerative medicine. If you're wondering what that is basically they're going to regenerate your body, make you feel better. Because people who have joint pain are getting real lasting relief there without drugs or without surgery. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this awesome treatment. They're going to use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged tissue. So that's what they're doing. They're taking your own body, putting it right back in you. And if you've got ongoing joint pain from arthritis or maybe you have some other injuries out there, you should call QC Kinetics because I know how it is to be dealing with it every day. Like, man, I just can't do this. I can't do that. I just don't feel comfortable doing this. They want you to know that you don't have to use steroids. You don't have to use certain types of medicine. That's not your only option. You have them as an awesome option. Times of change and regenerative medicine can get you moving again. And this with no downtime. Think about that. The no downtime, I think, is a key for them. Stop taking these pain meds out there. Thanks to QC Kinetics. That amazing treatment is now available right here in College Station for folks you and me, like you and I. And if you're sick and tired of joint pain, don't put this off any longer. Spring is coming. You want to enjoy all that life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation with a local medical professional. The number is 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000.
You never know who might stop by TexAgs Radio. Jimbo, Schloss, Buzz, Ross. It's TexAgs Radio. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 on The Zone.
Since 1957, Slovacek Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacek is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacek. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacek Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Gomez, Aggie Class of 2017, Treasury Management Officer at Bear Bank. I understand the impact of mastering the little things. We pay attention to detail as we work to find the right product or service for your business. From tech tools to manage your cash and payments to financing options for your expansion, we have the right solution for you. At Bear Bank, we believe in genuine banking, and you can bank on it. Visit us at verabank.com. That's VERA bank.com.
Verabank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
The hard thing is that now Russ is no longer the guy. You're asking Russ on a championship team to be the second or third, probably more realistically, the third guy. So when you start thinking about championship contention on those teams personnel-wise, as a player gets older in his career, typically what you happen is a player loses a little bit of their athletic ability and they start refining other skill sets, right? Like shooting or passing. So then you could be Carmelo Anthony, great spot-up shooter, so he can stay on the floor. It might be a defensive liability, but elite shooter, which is why teams like LeBron and company, let's give that a try because it helps with spacing. You can't do that with Russ, which means in critical game situations, he can't be on the floor if he's not the primary ball handler, which at this stage of his career, he's not going to be the guy.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on the Zone.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I saw that Leon O'Neal was picked up. Was this Saskatchewan? Is that how you say it? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, Saskatchewan. I guess, are they still called the Rough Riders?
The Rough Riders, yeah. They signed Leon O'Neal, Aggie Award winner, joins Rider Defense. You know what's something I don't understand?
What?
Why do they spell defense with a C and we spell it with an S?
Because they're Canadians.
They're wrong, right? Not us.
I mean,
but I think in England they do that too.
Yeah, well, they probably do, but they're English.
Yep. It says American DB Leon O'Neal Jr. has signed by the Green and White. Go do it, man.
You know where the capital of Saskatchewan is?
Where? I feel like there's like a
no. It's a lot of people think it's Saskatoon, but it's not.
What is it?
Regina. Regina. Regina.
Yeah.
I used to watch Canadian football. I was so crazy about.
Did you really watch the CFL?
Yeah, when I was
like Doug Flutie years.
Even before that.
Warren Moon.
Even before that.
They had a CFL before that?
Yeah. This had it for years. I was such a football crazy kid that one year in Dallas, they showed Canadian Football League, and I watched every game. I became a Hamilton Tiger Cats fan.
So Natalie on the YouTube page, and we're not going to make this about diet, but asked me if I eat tortillas as part of my diet. I eat everything as part of my diet. You're going to argue with me, but I do. I eat a lot. I pick and choose certain battles.
He's the only guy I've ever seen who's had a broccoli taco.
I've never had a broccoli taco in my life. There's no chance.
You're waiting for them to find a way to make a tortilla out of broccoli.
I mean, I might try it, but I don't think it. Like when I want a flour tortilla sometimes, or I want a corn tortilla. And it's a figurine.
What you prefer, flour or corn?
I prefer flour.
See, I prefer corn.
But it depends. So as you know, I calculate everything.
Yeah.
So like if I want to go lower on my fats, I go corn.
Okay.
So like if you have a certain number you're trying to hit, I just kind of do the math there.
I just like them. I just eat what tastes good to me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm fat.
You're not fat.
Well, compared to what I used to be, I'm fat.
When you were 14? Of course.
No,
everybody's bigger than when
I was 50.
That's a long time ago. It's like over a decade.
11 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. And you can get there if you really want to.
It's you don't know this yet, but once you get over 50, it becomes, you probably won't have a problem because you have to stay on it every day, and you stay on it every day, and you miss a couple days, and it's like you've never it's like you've spent, your job of the hut, right? It's like you're.
But you know where most people fail, and I fail too? It's the weekends.
Yes, that's where I fail the most.
Because
I'm not saying I don't fail during the week. I just say I fail the most on the weekends.
Yeah, the weekends you know what, I'm going to have those wings, and I'm going to have that dip, and I'm going to have more pizza, and I ate great Monday through Friday, so I can do this, and I ran yesterday. I can do this. That's the mindset. But if you look at the 7-day window, if your calories are in a surplus, you're going to gain weight.
Eric, do you think David could run a 3-minute half mile?
No.
800 meters in 3 minutes.
3-minute half mile? Yeah, absolutely I can.
Oh yeah, I think you got that in you, David.
Yeah, I got that in me.
I don't think so.
Flour.
They were trying to say if I should do it last week, and I said no way. No way.
I don't think you could do it.
I know, but I'm saying this is my point. Is those? I think it was McGee was going to offer $15,000.
I think he thought you could do it.
And I said no, and that's my point. I said not even David, I believe, could do it.
3-minute half mile? Yeah, I think I could do that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd be close. I mean, I have not run a 7-minute mile in some time. I haven't run in a year and a half, but 3-minute mile is a little bit faster than that.
That means you could just attack the 800 a little bit harder because I don't have to go a full 7-minute mile. I'm just going 3 minutes.
Hey now, how many seconds does it take for you to do one lap around a track? 400 meters.
If I'm running as fast as I can.
If you are
in competition.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so if I'm running a mile and I'm trying to break 4, then I got to hit it at 60 seconds or faster. So that would be my goal in a mile. If I'm running a 3K, PR 757, I think that's 64, 65 seconds maybe a little faster than 64.
That's outrageous.
And then 5K, I think I'm running 66, closer to 66 seconds.
Gosh. Do you think Olin could do an 800 in 3:30?
No.
No.
He's trying to figure out how he wants to answer
No,
this.
I'm saying no. You don't have to spare my feelings. Of course not.
Olin, do you run? Do you ever run?
You used to be a runner.
I used to be. I hadn't been for a long time now. I just have a treadmill. I think I could do a half mile in
4:30.
4:30 would be interesting. I'd like to give myself 5 minutes.
I say you could run a 4:15 half mile. How about that?
I think you're probably being too generous. When I'm wide open, running 100 meters now, it's 20 seconds. And I'm saying I'm wide open, it just.
What if I gave you an hour to warm up and stretch? Then I'm saying, all right, you're going to run a straight line, half mile as fast as you can.
Eric, I get winded stretching.
Well, I've seen this guy at the gym go crazy. All right, let's turn our attention to a little Aggie hoops because tomorrow it's going to be a lot of emphasis on the game against Arkansas. Obi, when I think about this game, look, they're all important, and I know we say that, and especially down the stretch, and are you a bubble team? Are you in? Whatever. But I just feel like there isn't a lot of harm. I guess there is a lot of harm losing to Arkansas, but there's just way more to gain than, if you can win this and just give yourself that added, A, split the series, B, continue being the second best team in the SEC and set you up for, regardless of what happens against Tennessee, to be in position to still be the second best team in the SEC. You got a Missouri team on the road coming up. That team is playing great recently. Last second shot over the weekend. But you could do so much good if you can beat Arkansas tomorrow.
Absolutely. I don't know. Would that count as a quadrant one win? I haven't looked it up or anything. I assume it would be.
It would.
Yeah, it would. I think the only non-quad one opportunity, coming up is Ole Miss. So the rest of the games from here on out are
even
quad
Mississippi
one.
State.
I believe so.
I know it's on the road, and I know they're playing good basketball now, and they just beat Arkansas.
They did.
But yeah, I think it's a huge win. It would be a huge win. Again, it's one of those where any remaining doubters, any detractors that persist would have to just, if you beat Arkansas, it's the final answer.
Right.
You can't, you say, well, they haven't done this. Well, you know what? They've beaten Auburn twice. Yeah, but Auburn's not. Well, now they've beaten Arkansas. At what point do you have to say, okay, they're good?
Yep.
Right. And I think most of them are coming around. But if you beat Arkansas, I think, even your final detractors have to see. It seems like grudgingly admit that. Oh yeah, these guys have done the complete transformation.
And I also think if you can win while other teams are struggling, right? Like you take it, you continue. You need to win, but sometimes you win. Other teams around you are winning. This past weekend, a lot of people lost.
Oh yeah, it was a great weekend for A&M.
So keep it going, right?
Oh, absolutely. But it's going to be a harder game to play. But I don't know who's a better team, Auburn or Arkansas. I don't know.
I would have thought in the beginning of the year Auburn, right? But Arkansas right now has turned the corner, and Auburn.
But Arkansas just lost to Mississippi State.
They did, and then Auburn almost beat the number one team in the country.
So, and you've beaten Auburn twice. So you got Arkansas coming in now. The Nick Smith kid, who was one of the top recruits in the country. They say he's a first-round draft choice as a point guard. He didn't play. He's only played like 8 games because of injury. But he was back in the lineup last week against Mississippi State. Played like 17 minutes. So that's something different that you have to deal with. But you know what you don't have to deal with? You don't have to deal with all the travel issues you had.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not going to be even because Arkansas is not going to have the travel issues because we don't have the typically the weather issues that they can have up there. So, but you're not going to have to deal with it. And despite all those issues you had, as we talked about, it was a 4-point game with 4 minutes to go. You have to do a better job though dealing with the two Mitchell brothers inside, the two twins that blocked so many shots.
I don't remember the box score in that game, but that was one where I think Julius was in foul trouble. Am I right about that? I'll have to go back and check, but I believe that was the case.
Probably. I just know that they had 13 blocked shots, and the Mitchell brothers combined for 10 of them, and A&M did not shoot well from three-point range. They didn't shoot well at the – A&M shot like 58% from the free throw line in that game. And Arkansas got to the line more than A&M did. So it was obvious that the travel and to the players and Buzz Williams' credit, they never used that as an excuse. But a team like A&M shoots 58% from the free throw line. That's telling you, the legs aren't there.
So I got the numbers here. And actually, if you look at this box score, you would think A&M would have a good chance to win this game. Henry Coleman had a phenomenal game. 18 points, 15 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. He was great. Wade Taylor, 18 points.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Radford, 17 points and 7 rebounds and 6 assists. But then you got a lot of zeros after that. Dexter Dennis had, let's see if I have his right here. He had 8 points. He had a good game. Andy Garcia, 0, and Gordon, 0, Hefner, 0. So your bench didn't really provide. It was all your starters providing the action there.
And again, look at their 3-point numbers. Look at their free throw numbers.
They were 4 of 12 from the 3-point line.
Right. And look at their free throw numbers. I think they were 14 of 24. I mean, that's just not who this team is. Mm-hmm. This team gets to the line and makes their free throws. But, you don't want to look for excuses. But the fact is, when you're competing, first of all, it's going to be hard to win in Fayetteville anyway. It always is. But when didn't get into your hotel till after midnight, and then you have to bus the next day, and you can't do all the things you typically do, and yet they were down 4 with 4 minutes to go.
You hungry?
I'm always hungry.
So Inconvenient Pothole was worried when I talked about Caprock and, you getting your ribs hurt because you weren't enjoying Valentine's Day. He was worried that we were going to talk about the ribs at Fargo's, but we weren't at that point.
No.
But now we are.
I wish that my ribs were always as good as the beef ribs.
As the beef ribs over there. You know what I think? If our friends at Fargo's are listening, Alan, Belender, Maurice, if they're listening right now, maybe one day, just as an idea, they surprise us with some ribs for breakfast. I mean, look, are we going to eat it? Sure, I guess. Yeah, will we eat it throughout the entire show? Yeah. Will we do it on camera? Probably. Will our keyboards get dirty? Yes, but I think it would make for good content. Not necessarily for our diet, but let's do it, because it tastes that good.
I would eat ribs from Fargo's at any. I'd have it for dessert.
I prefer more ribs than actual dessert. That's how I roll.
Yeah, I know it is.
You've seen
I've
that.
I've had dinner with you.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know if I've ever seen you eat dessert.
I don't really do a lot of dessert in life.
Yeah, I can see
I don't.
that.
I did it. I mean, I'm trying to think the last time I did it. I'm sure I did it for my daughter's birthday. I think she had a cheesecake for on January 9th. So that's the last time.
Broccoli flavored cheesecake.
Yeah, it was broccoli. Yeah. A little pumpkin spice on it as well. Just kidding. All right, this is about Fargo's, and the ribs there are so good. So jump on it. And today's Tuesday, which means they have what?
Rib tips. There's your meat dessert right there. Rib tips.
And if you can't go today, which I don't know why you wouldn't go, but if you couldn't go today and you wanted rib tips, you can go on what other day?
Saturday.
Yeah, that's what they do there. They're one of the top 50 barbecue joints in the world, according to Texas Monthly. They're so delicious out there.
A good lemonade there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like lemonade.
I like lemonade, too.
1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan, without a doubt. The best barbecue in town. That's their trademark because guess what? It's true. Go check it out. It's Fargo's.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Bush School, in partnership with the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, invite you to join them on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. for the 4th annual Salute to the Divine Legacy of Black Sororities and Fraternities. Register for the free event at calendar.tamu.edu. Registration is now open for Harvey Little League. Register your kid or be a Harvey sponsor by going online to BrianHarveyLittleLeague.com. The deadline is February 16th. Support the Sexual Assault Resource Center through their Be a Light campaign by making a donation at sarcbv.org. Brazos County Master Gardeners invites you to an educational program titled Endangered Iris Preservation, Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. at the Brazos County Extension Office. You can hear A&M women's basketball on the Zone. The men play on WTAW 1620 94.5, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Since 1957, Slovacek Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacek is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacek. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacek Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Chase loves soccer.
I'm Chase Carrera, and I'm 12 years old.
And his dream is to turn pro. That's why Chase and his family make sure he's always having fun and squeezing out his best with Go-Go Squeeze. Okay, buddy, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze. Go-Go Squeeze fruit-on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
That's my boy!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Question. Would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. 5 generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with former Fox News reporter Rick Leventhal and compares notes on their meeting with Alex Rodriguez.
It's good to know, first of all, that your experience with A-Rod is similar to my experience with A-Rod.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I love hearing that. That's amazing. My wife gave me a hard time for putting that story in the book. She goes, you kind of sound like, well, maybe he just didn't remember you. Maybe you're not that.
Sports Talk, treating people with respect since 1994. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in. It is the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon You. So let's go to Eric Casares, the love master himself, who's got a lot of love for sports out there. Is that right, Eric?
I got a lot of love. Now, I was talking to Obi about this a couple commercial breaks ago, and it was you said that you don't like Valentine's Day.
Hate it.
You want to explain that real quick? Why don't you
like
it?
It's just a made-up holiday to put more financial stress on men and women who are, they're probably taking care of their significant others all year long. Why do you need an extra day, especially just about 6 weeks, 7 weeks after Christmas? You just got that paid off.
Do you not step up your game a little bit on Valentine's Day?
I don't have to. I'm like,
you're just a lover.
All 365.
You're like Richard Gere in that movie. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know what movie that is, but it probably would be.
Well, you know what? That's a valid opinion, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to give some love to some sports athletes out there. That's my job. I want to go out there. Who am I loving right now?
Yeah.
I got 5 people I'm loving. You want to hear it?
All right, 5.
All right, let's go. Let's start. Now, this is in no particular order, all right? So everybody, I don't favor someone over another. Everybody's got to get love, and these are the 5 people that came to my mind. I made this list ahead of time. Coming in at number 5, y'all did mention it earlier. Y'all gave love to softball Trinity Cannon, SEC Co-Player of the Week for the Aggies. David, you mentioned 8 hits, 8 walks, 810 on-base percentage, a 1.083 slugging percentage, 2 doubles, 6 runs, a home run. She had a heck of a weekend.
Yeah, she did. She was huge.
I love that.
We'll talk to Trisha Ford about her here in a few minutes.
Yeah. Number 4, Texas A&M track and field, Lamar Diston and Ushan Pereira both got school records in the high jump at Clemson. We'll talk more about that at 9:35 with Coach Mallard. But, I mean, Lamar has been phenomenal.
How high did they jump?
Gosh, I do not have that off the top of my head. But I do know Lamar's been clearing like 6'4", 6'5". She's something else. She's not just the best.
Cleared 6'5", I don't know how to read this.
6'5.5".
Yeah, but
and then they give you the metric version.
Yeah.
And Ushan, that new guy, he's only been here for a couple of days. I haven't even met him yet. So
a couple of days?
Yeah, he is. I don't think.
How does that happen?
I think he's a transfer. And I just saw that he committed here or something, or transferred over here on the page. But I haven't met him, and this was his first meet.
Well, how long does it take? Hey. You just got here.
Just
go out there, see that bar. Go jump over it.
No, wide receiver. Go run your route. Okay.
Go jump over that.
Got it.
Yeah, but they're killing it. I mean, Lamar is not just the best jumper in the country. She's the best jumper in the world right now, right? She's doing insane stuff. And then this Ushan guy, I haven't even met him yet. I'm excited to meet him. He's broke the school record in his first meet as an Aggie. That's phenomenal. So
Ushan. I like that name.
Ushan.
Doesn't sound like he's from East Texas.
He might be.
Might be.
Off of
there are some interesting names up there, but I'm betting he's not.
Who else we have?
Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs, Frank Clark. Now, a lot of people that maybe don't watch football don't know this is.
Do you know what show you're on?
Well,
what is this?
NFL.
View?
I know.
This is the View.
I'm wondering where this is going. For Frank Clark, there's a lot of guys from the Chiefs that stood out.
Now here's the thing: the more underrated players on the Chiefs, and I say that is because his father passed away in a fire in 2018.
Okay.
And he never got to see his son win a ring. Well, his son just won another ring, right?
Yeah.
And in the post-game interview, when they interviewed him on the field afterwards, he was crying and he was very emotional, and he was saying his dad would be proud of him and he missed him and he wished he was here, and it was just a really powerful
I like that
interview, and I loved it. I just felt like I needed to go in there and give him a hug.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah. Number 2, Jalen Hurts. 304 yards, 1 touchdown, 70 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Carries himself very well, very mature guy. And I have to admit, I doubted him, so I had to give him some love too.
Props to
number
Jalen,
1.
Yeah. And then number 1, Super Bowl MVP, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes.
East Texas resident.
I mean, and he did this on an injured ankle too.
Yeah.
I don't know what they injected in his ankle at halftime, but it had to be something magical because he carried them back from a 10-point deficit. Patrick Mahomes, you get some love from me today. Happy Valentine's Day.
Look at that. We may have to make that a little weekly thing. Man, not every week, but
who you loving?
Who you loving? Because you're all about the love.
Play some Barry White in the background.
Appreciate that. OB, thank you, sir.
Bet.
When we come back on this show that we call TexAgs Radio, Bill Luch. He'll be joining the show at 9:05. We got Trisha Ford in studio at 9:20. We've got Milton Millard and Coach Kurt Henry at 9:35. All that in the 9 o'clock hour. You don't want to miss it. Get it on YouTube. Watch on or listen on the Zone and watch on CW. I'm all over the place on TexAgs.com. We'll see you in a bit.
Gotta be connected with The Zone. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at The Zone 1150. Like us on Facebook at The Zone 1150. Programming alerts, prize updates, scores from games all across Bryan Broadcasting, contest news, and more. Connect with us and always be in the know. Can't remember what team is playing on what station? When are they giving away what? And when is the coach on the show? Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Zone 1150. And be sure to like us on Facebook at Zone 1150. And always be in the know.
Young or old, black or white, or anything in between. From employees to entrepreneurs, doctors to detectives, some things define us and set us apart, but there's one thing that binds us. Before anything, we are one thing. Born to be Americans, proud to be Americans. Our United States are our united fates. Know your Constitution.
Unity. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
Listen to The Zone on 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, RadioAggiland.com, or you can tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150. Listen to The Zone wherever you go. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. Business at last week's Bryan City Council meeting included awarding a nearly $6.5 million contract to build a water tower.
There was no discussion before the 5-0 vote to build the tower on Bryan's west side in a residential neighborhood along Chick Lane, north of Villa Maria. The bowl of the 2 million gallon water tower will not be lit at night. Lights at entry doors will be directed downward. Landscaping and trees will provide screening. There will be no running equipment. Surrounding the tower and landscaping will be an 8-foot-tall intruder-resistant fence with brick columns. The council will decide later the logo on the white-colored bowl. Construction is expected to take 2 years. Bill Oliver, 1620, 94.5 WTAW.
Brazos County commissioners have taken the next step towards the possibility of getting broadband to the less than 10% of residents without high-speed internet. Commissioners last week awarded a $70,000 consultants contract. A Missouri company will be doing an assessment of the local broadband market and where the broadband gaps are in Brazos County. College Station police announced an arrest in an armed robbery of a convenience store Sunday night. 26-year-old Jonte Weber of Bryan is accused of entering the Valero store on Harvey Road near George Bush East and threatening the clerk with a gun. CSPD officers receiving a detailed description found Weber a short time later inside a nearby apartment with the stolen merchandise and a gun. College Station's police chief tells the city council to be expecting in April more recommendations to increase safety in the Northgate district. This follows action the council took last summer. Since then, Chief Billy Couch says relationships with Northgate bar owners have improved.
Some of the issues we were seeing that we were going to put forth something to try to control, they've now controlled themselves. I think that they were very responsive to it. I think they've done a good job of trying to help us.
About 1% of the more than 85,000 calls for CSPD officers fell into 8 major crime categories. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Zwerneman Flooring, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Specs Wine, Spirits, and Finer Foods, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Registration is open for the 2023 American Heroes Dream Wedding Giveaway. Local wedding association professionals have teamed up to provide an all-inclusive wedding to one heroic couple as a way to thank our teachers, first responders, and active duty military. If you're a Brazos Valley teacher, first responder, or active duty military, please go to AmericanHeroesWedding.com for complete details on how you can win an all-inclusive wedding. Registration closes February 25th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Aggie men's basketball has won 3 straight games and will get Arkansas at Reed Arena Wednesday night. Head coach Buzz Williams talked about his team's work ethic on his weekly radio show.
Where we've grown the most is being absorbed and consumed with how to go about our work and let the result be a byproduct of all of the work.
You can hear the Buzz Williams Show every Monday night during the season at 7 on 1620 94.5 WTAW. You'll be able to hear the game Wednesday night on WTAW as well. Texas A&M softball junior Trinity Cannon has been named the Southeastern Conference Co-Player of the Week. The Forney, Texas native hit .667 with 2 doubles and a home run while driving in 6 runs on the weekend. Softball will look to continue their hot start to the season at the TexAgs Clearwater Invitational this week. The tournament runs Thursday through Saturday, and they'll take on Oklahoma State, Arizona, UCF, USF, and Nebraska. Game 1 will be Thursday at 9 a.m., and you can hear all of those games on Gospel 97.3. Aggie men's and women's swimming and diving are gearing up to host the SEC Championships this week. The men are ranked number 11, and the women are number 18. That event runs Tuesday through Saturday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, Brutus, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone.
Just ran from the parking lot if I'm a little bit late. TexAgs Radio. Presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Let's go straight to the hotline. We're joined by TexAgs co-owner and executive editor, Billy Lucci. Billy, good morning, sir.
Nuño, what's up?
Buddy, we got some coaching news to get into. Hey, man, how are you?
Good. Yeah, no, big coach news, actually. I mean, the staff right now is rounded out, and I think that's what we'll see Jimbo's staff look like heading into next fall. I mean, I know James Coley has been up for and mentioned and actually met with Miami to talk about the offensive coordinator job there. I don't think he'll end up being the choice there. I keep hearing names like Major Applewhite and the Streeter guy, formerly of Clemson, Dabo's old OC. So I think you'll see. I think the addition yesterday ends up rounding it out. I think they've got a full staff on defense, full staff on offense, and I don't expect any future changes to the on-field staff. And I think they'll go from there, and that's what they're going to ride with.
The Streeter guy makes sense, right? Because the AD at Miami used to be the AD at Clemson. Am I right about that? Am I putting it together?
Radakovich.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain level, yes, but I mean, it's not the AD's typically not going to go, hey, I got no. I mean, that's actually all that you probably think is the AD said. What about this guy? I like Clemson, but that would be the extent of it. AD's typically not going to get involved with pushing or finalizing something with a head coach's assistant coaches. It's typically not what they do. It's typically not what good ADs do anyway.
So, Billy, A&M has had a really good rushing attack. Obviously, when you have elite rushers like they've had in Devon and Isaiah, and the list goes on and on during Jimbo's time here. But adding a guy like Marquell Blackwell, I think I don't want to call it an upgrade, but a guy that last year really, I mean, he had 2 of the top rushers in the entire SEC and one of the best in the country.
No, I mean, and Zach Evans, like you said, finished top 6 in the league in rushing. They had a devastating rushing attack, as we unfortunately witnessed at Kyle Field last year. It was really obviously the difference in A&M winning or losing. But he did a good job of, you could tell, just getting those guys ready. And look, Zach Evans isn't the easiest guy to deal with. I think everybody knows that. You know, in terms of managing the splits, managing the reps, that couldn't have been easy there in Oxford. And to do that while getting a true freshman to play at that level. Look, I know everybody thinks that running back's, an easy position to coach. And on some level, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's a more natural thing. That's why you see more true freshmen able to come in and contribute. But those guys have to block. And when you got a guy rushing for 1,500 as a freshman, you're doing a good job of having him understand his college blocking. You're doing a good job of having him, take care of the football or he wouldn't be on the field. Block. Go out and, in the routes. And then also just, again, like the actual act of running, yes, it's a very natural thing. It's why we think, hey, Reuben Owens can come in and make a huge contribution this year. Same thing with Devon Achane. Isaiah Spiller did that, as you said. The thing is, a lot of times it takes guys until at least a half a year or so to where they're really impactful because of just the adjustment that needs to be made. And I promise you, he didn't run for 1,500 yards in half the season. He was doing it early. He was ready to go early. And a lot of that has to do with coaching. I've heard he's an outstanding recruiter. Talked to some people behind the scenes leading up to yesterday that said terrific energy in the interviews, just a really good personality. A big part of yesterday, and you knew when I was sitting in there with you, what I said, don't bring up the coaching search, because I didn't want my answer to be, oh, no, nothing's going to happen anytime soon, or to just say, yeah, pay attention today and just kind of set everyone onto the stamp, right? But the reality was, leading up to yesterday, the reason it wasn't out there in the morning was he wanted to go and specifically face-to-face tell his players. And I think that was the toughest part for him. I think he's got a great relationship with the guys in that room. And, again, that offense is Lane's offense, whether it's Jeff Levy, whether it's whoever, Blackwell, is one of the assistants there. But that running game being what it was, 1,000% was aided because they had a really good running backs coach. You need a running backs coach. You'll get a guy from one of the best running teams in college football last year, and you get him out of your division. And by the way, Nuño, getting him out of the division, I don't mean that as, hey, we're weakening a rival here. I think that's only reserved for maybe coordinators in some instances. Even in this instance of Lane, if you get him off the offense, I don't think it's that devastating a blow as Kiffin showed last year. But what I mean by getting him out of the division is that he's coached in the SEC. He's coached in your division. He understands what it takes. And he's had guys succeed against guys that A&M succeed against. So that it erases more doubt than you would if you were getting a guy from elsewhere.
Talking to Billy Lucci here on TexAgs Radio. So how about the added element of this little rivalry, or I don't want to call it a war of words, but, just taking another guy from Lane Kiffin there at Ole Miss?
Now, again, it adds a little thing to it, but like you guys said this morning, I mean, you got to beat these guys. We're joking around like, hey, where's Lane Kiffin's tweet? And is he going to respond and say something, catty, because that's essentially what he's doing, being catty. When's he going to say something petty or catty? I mean, the reality is he took his DC and he came into your house and beat you. Thanks in large part to that running game. So, man, there are a lot of big games on the schedule that I'd say A&M has to win next year. Ole Miss is on that list, and it's not one of the easier ones because you're going to Oxford. Jimbo and the Aggies cannot lose to Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss 3 years in a row. You couldn't do that anyway. But to do it with Kiffin acting the way he does, I mean, that's a pride thing in terms of, your fan base and the people that wear maroon and white and the people that wear the ring, and especially so in that building, especially so in Bright. From Jimbo on down. I mean, players, coaches, everything. Like that game's got to be circled, in my opinion. And if you think it's just another game, then I just don't get it, because that guy is a card-carrying jackass. Always has been, always will be, and he's ready to make it. He did everything he could to make you as a head coach and Texas A&M look bad last year. And he backed it up. His team backed it up on the field in a close, final possession game, but they came out on top. Now, they ended up getting humiliated every week after that. Seemed to have just kind of, left everything they had while taking pictures at midfield at Kyle. But you got to go get those guys, and hopefully getting Blackwell will help. Hopefully that'll just add a little bit more and get you over the top. You add a Marquell Blackwell, and maybe that Aggie running game goes down there in Oxford this year and gets it done. I'm really excited about what he can do on the recruiting front. And again, I know Judkins is a 3-star recruit, but he's the best running back in the SEC last year. And he had a 5-star NFL-bound guy in Zach Evans. He has an incredible amount of talent in Oxford. He's going to have a great deal to work with at A&M, too, in their top 3 of Amari Daniels, Le'Veon Moss, and Reuben Owens. That is a ridiculous amount of talent as well, so he's walking into that. I'm pretty excited about the hire, honestly. And the offense in general now with, if you're going to go Bobby Petrino and then add this, I do think A&M has really revamped what they can do offensively. And I don't know this about Blackwell. I've asked and I got the right answer. I couldn't imagine someone saying, no, he didn't seem like he really knew what he was talking about offensively, X's and O's, so we hired him. No one's going to say that. But they were particularly excited about just kind of the knowledge base there in terms of X's and O's and offense. And that's an area where I think A&M was really trying to grade wherever they could do that. You want that room to be full of people that know what they're talking about. And it's like us doing a radio show. You just have a bunch of people that don't understand how to do it and just throw them all in a room versus getting someone with some experience. There's a big difference. If you get 6 people with experience, then it completely changes everything. I think that was part of what excited them about this hire as well. It's also why you go back, they looked at a couple of NFL guys along the way. They flirted with the idea, didn't flirt with it. They interviewed some receivers coaches. There was a real chance that it was going to be a receivers coach, and then I think Damian Craig would have coached backs and Coley tight ends, and they ended up going with a running backs coach. Coley, I believe, will stay at receiver, where I think he did a really good job last year if you look at the improvement at that position. And then I also like consistency with all the talent you got coming back there. And I think that would mean Craig, 2 tight ends, where he'll probably get an assist from Spurlock, who's been doing that for a while here now.
Billy, last thing for you. Does it feel to you, and to me it does, that the coaching staff is better right now than it was a year ago?
No question in my mind. No question in my mind. I mean, Daryl Dickey's a really good coach. He probably will still coach at some point. Highly successful career. But in this role, in this position, he was not the OC. It was Jimbo. Now you've got Jimbo, and maybe you can get the best of Jimbo. And then you've added a guy in Bobby Petrino whose track record can really stand up to damn near anyone in the game. And the question is, how will they mesh? How will it work? Some people say, is the game passed him by? I think that part's laughable. You just see an age, and you assume something that I think that part is. If you're asking that question, you're just looking for questions to ask, or you just really haven't paid attention to what he does offensively. But yeah, you've added a guy whose resume and body of work will go up against anyone's in the game, and then I really do think you've done a nice thing here with Marquell Blackwell out of Ole Miss. I think it took a while. It took longer than I would have liked to have seen it take to be honest. But at the end of the day, what we've always said is it matters a hell of a lot more who you end up with. It matters a hell of a lot more who you end up with than how long it takes. So it did take a while. I would love to have had him hired in a week and had him out recruiting for the last several weeks, but it didn't happen that way. But at the end of the day, what matters infinitely more is who'd you get. And if you had told me at the start of this search, if you said the name Marquell Blackwell, I would have had no idea who he was. I would have Googled him, and I would have, which is exactly what happened a couple of days ago. I would have Googled him and gone, oh. At first, I wouldn't have taken long either. I said, oh, he's at Ole Miss last year? Okay. And then as I dug in, as I made some phone calls Sunday night, it was pretty exciting. And the deal was, is this deal done? I think it was done at some point over the weekend.
Billy, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right, Formula.
Later, bro. Billy.
By the way.
Yes, sir.
By the way, I have in fact, I'm not even going to go into it. So many things that I should have kept notes on y'all's first hour.
What did we do wrong?
I should have kept notes. I don't know everything.
Okay.
Anything. I mean, Olin was on, so I mean, do you ever have to really ask that?
I'm going to say the big shots of the week. That was a quality segment. Let's see.
Except you guys were talking about the miles and stuff. I disagreed with your ability to finish that in 3 minutes.
A half mile in 3 minutes?
There was.
I think I said at the end, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I'm not sure. I've done I don't think I can do a 7-minute mile today, but I can do a half.
You'd have a better shot at it than me. I'm not going that route, and nobody's going to get me out there running it. But I was just listening and going, huh. The other thing is you don't eat everything. And the third part, one of the other things, first of all, in Olin and his ethics bureau was really, I got a text on that one from somebody. They go, does Olin have something over you? Are you talking about his ridiculous quote he just made? Yeah, I go, no, he was digging his way out because he felt like he was being too nice to me for a couple minutes there and tried to back out of it with a horrific joke.
I have more calories than you, Billy. That's a fact.
More. What?
I have more calories than you.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, how many calories were in my egg and sausage just now and my bowl of blueberries and my coffee? Add that up.
Well, the coffee, if it's blank, I don't know how many eggs you had, but I had 250 ounces of egg whites. And
all right.
Bye.
That's enough. Mix in a tortilla and come talk to me. That's got some calories.
I had 50 grams of
oatmeal. Add calories. All right.
Later, man.
Call me later.
See ya.
Bye.
In fact, I'm going to have 300 carbs today. Take that and eat it. 198 proteins. Right now, we're talking about the Association of Former Students who have been around for 140 years, and your financial gifts have empowered them to be here, to be there, to be everywhere. That is my line for this because, A, it was written long ago on one of the initial copies that I got about it, but they really are. They're here. They're like across the street. They're there. They're everywhere you go in the United States. They're everywhere, guys. That is what the association does. They give back to the Aggies, the Aggie Network, I should say, and Aggies all around the globe. That is what they've done for a long time, and they love doing it. That is what they do. And you are the reason that they do what they do. You are their why. And that is why they've created IamTheWhy.com, a collection of stories about Aggies. Go check it out. We need to have Randy here in studio soon and Lexi and Scott and all them and catch up and see what's going on with the association because they're always moving and shaking. But the IamTheWhy.com is a place for you to kind of feel the brand, hear it, and see it, like from people's perspective, why the association does what they do. And you can upload your story on there as well. IamTheWhy.com is the website. IamTheWhy.com. It is the Association of Former Students.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Go see them at their new location on Highway 6 in Rock Prairie by Scott and White. Always fresh, never frozen. Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Hardcore Dynamix, a Texas A&M co-ed a cappella group, presents Acapalooza at Rudder Auditorium on Saturday, February 18th at 6 p.m. Find the event with a ticket link on WTAW's community calendar at WTAW.com. A benefit event supporting Leslie Judson, a high school senior battling cancer, is Saturday, February 25th at the VFW in Hearn. Come out for a bake sale, silent auction, and dance. Her fight is our fight. Mending Hearts is a local nonprofit that provides support for children, families, and individuals who are grieving the loss of a loved one. A variety of free support groups are available. Visit mendingheartsgriefcenter.org for more information. Community Calendar is brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
A half a ring of Cooper's world-famous regular or jalapeno sausage cooked to perfection cowboy style over mesquite coals, then paired with one of your favorite homemade Cooper sides, beans and barbecue sauce. That's what you get when you ask for Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue's Saw 'em Off Sausage Special, only $9.99. Experience the taste of locally Aggie-owned, nationally recognized Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue. Voted best barbecue in the Brazos Valley and proud supporter of Texas A&M Athletics.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
When we started Intercon in early 1991, we were well aware that we would be competing with some companies that use unscrupulous techniques to make a quick sale, such as bait and switch, or 40% off if you commit today, or misleading, incomplete quotes. Intercon's practice is to be completely honest and encourage prospective customers to talk to our former customers. We've encouraged customers to get multiple quotes. We are confident and proud of our value proposition for windows, glass, and solar screens. We never want anyone to rush into a decision they will regret in the future. Just remember, warranties are only as good as the people who provide them and are servicing the area when situations arise. This is our home and only marketplace, and we will protect our home turf. You've probably heard the saying, the buck stopped here, and that is with me, Brad Beard, president and co-owner of Intercon LLC.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
You can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon or Echo. Step 1, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Check it out. Hit you with no delay into what you saying, yo. Silly with your ice grilly with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club like we while in the studio. You don't want to violate, baby, really and truly, yo. My main thug, villain ain't Julio, he moody, yo. Type of brother that'll slap you with the tulio. Real shook, scared to death.
All right, it's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Coach Trisha Ford in studio. Do you hear that? You don't hear that?
I don't hear it.
That's another run. You guys just scored another run. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. That's a joke I do sometimes. That's really like a dad joke.
It is.
But it works. Because 25 runs.
Yeah.
How was the weekend overall?
It was a great weekend, honestly. Wins are always they're well received here. So it was a good weekend, though. We came out, we executed our plan, and, at the end of the day, I told them, I don't care who's on the other side of the dugout. It's about us and what we're doing and how we're doing it in our process. And I thought they executed it very, very well.
There's always challenges when there's a new staff that comes in, and it's not always going to be 25 runs every weekend. Or every
I hope,
game.
but
yes. That being said, considering that this program needed like a jolt, and that first weekend you were able to provide that.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the energy. I think our players were really excited. You could just kind of feel the excitement at the field, and they just, you hope and you wish that all of the work that you've put in, it shows up. And we were, obviously fortunate that it showed up the first weekend, and we have the next couple of weekends though that it's going to be tough, which that's the fun stuff. So
how have you been received? How do you feel in the community, and now actually playing some games and going to HEB or wherever you may go, and seeing people?
It's been wonderful, honestly, and it's one of the reasons why I came here. I think that small town feel that Texas A&M and Aggie Land has is just special and unique. And so obviously my kids are involved. My son plays with 12 baseball. My daughter is involved with Console High School. So, you're starting to kind of get your feet wet, I guess.
Yeah, it's so true. Schloss was here yesterday, and he was like, I stopped by the game. It was great. There's a real community beyond, I think the coaches as well.
Yeah, he's wonderful. he obviously sent me a nice text message over the weekend, and they open up, I believe, this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so our bat and ball sports are back in full swing.
Yeah, it's great. And Nick Savage in the back, Jamie, there are a lot of softball fans that work here, so we're pumped to have you. Let's talk about Trinity Cannon and the weekend that she put together.
Yeah, I mean, for a couple of games, I didn't think she was going to get out, you know? So, sometimes you have those tournaments, but she just took her walks. I mean, she had 8 walks on the weekend. I mean, took her walks when she needed to, which is something that we've really hit hard with her and Julia Cottrell is just, you guys are going to get yourself out. So make sure that if it's not a strike, like, take your walks. And I thought she did a tremendous job. Had some big RBIs for us, obviously had a long ball. So just excited for her to see what this year looks like for her.
What about the transition from third base to first base? How difficult can that be?
It can be. I think it can be as much as you want it to be, but at the end of the day, you're on the dang field. Like, you know what I mean? So, and she, no problem, no qualms about it. She's like, whatever you need, whatever, you think is best for us. And I think she's actually loving it, to be honest with you. So it's worked out.
Isn't that great when you have players that's like, just coach wherever you want me?
Yeah. And honestly, the whole team has been like that. Obviously, Rylan Wiggins started off as a shortstop, moved to second base, and then, is now at third. And she came up to the office yesterday, and we were kind of, talking and joking around, and she's like, I love third base. And I'm like, that's fantastic. Like, so I think you just see them, they want to win. They want to play at a high level, and I think that's what they were eager for.
So as a coach, I would assume a new coach, you want more time to put your thoughts and your practices together and whatnot, but were you ready for games, or did you need some more time?
Yeah, I mean, I will always say we need more time, but they were ready. They were tired, and I think you heard them. They said, we're tired of playing each other, we want to beat up on somebody else. So they were ready to get out after somebody else, so it was that time.
How about Ayanna Coleman hitting her first home run?
Oh, yeah. It was great because AC, I mean, she can hit the ball country mile, and her first couple of at-bats didn't go as planned, and she was nervous. And I actually enjoy the freshman nervousness because they care and they want to do well, and she's a hometown kid. Mm-hmm. So to get that kind of monkey off of her back, it was huge. She came into the dugout and she goes, that felt good. And I said, absolutely, AC. You'll make a lot more. You'll make a lot more of those, yeah.
And how about the transition from playing a game where you've scored 25 runs to now taking on some of the top teams in the country, 3 ranked teams, including Thursday morning Oklahoma State?
Yeah, this is the good stuff, right? Yeah. And we're going to hit some bumps, and I've talked about that a little bit, but we're going to hit some good bumps. I mean, the next 2 weeks really for me is time for us to really learn about who we are, what we need to work on, what we're doing really well, and I don't know, I'm excited. Like, we have nothing to lose. Like, all the pressure is on Okie State, all the pressure is on Arizona, all the pressure is on
UCF.
UCF. I mean, all of them are postseason teams. As we were as well. But I don't know. I enjoy this. I enjoy the fight.
And this kind of weekend, too, whatever happens, I think it makes you better for conference play later.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just, I always say, like, these are tools, like, you're going to put in your box. You're going to be able to pull out at a different time in the season. And we're going to learn. And we're going to face Maxwell, I'm assuming, who is their lefty stud pitcher that, throws 3 speeds, up, down, and change. But all that's going to do is make us better and get us ready for conference.
Last thing for you, first time in a couple of years that the A&M softball team has been ranked in the top 25. Very early. I know a lot of season has to go on, but nice to see the recognition, right?
Yeah, it is. I don't mind not being ranked right now. Like, mm-hmm. I hope that we surprise some people. But yes, I mean, it's a great thing to celebrate, but it's not, like you said, it's early in the season. I want us to put our heads down and just get after it.
Well, we'll be paying attention this weekend. Good luck, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks so much.
You're going to be coming in the studio, right?
I will.
All right, yeah. That's awesome. Thank you very, very much, and good luck to the A&M softball team. Right now, we need caller number 1. We're going to give you a free car wash from Aggieland Express Car Wash in South College Station off of William D. Fitch in Greens Prairie. Aggie owned and operated with the friendliest staff and a personal touch. They offer a monthly membership, but we'll give the first caller a free car wash right now from Aggieland Express in South College Station. 979-693-1150.
He's gone to L.A. to interview Hugh Jackman, Brad Pitt, and Mark Wahlberg. Now he hangs out with Billy and O.B. It's David Nuño with TexAgs Radio on the Zone.
It's back and better than ever. Chili Fest Fest 2023, presented by Miller Lite, is headed to Snook, Texas, March 31st and April 1st for 2 days of live music and the kind of fun you can only have in Aggie Land. This year with Saturday performances by The Weathered Souls, Jacob Stelly, Colton Moore, and The Clever Few. And headliner Whiskey Myers. Plus Friday performances by Tyler Halverson, Carson Jeffrey, Giovanni and the Hired Guns, Muscadine Bloodline, and headliner Jamie Johnson. Get your tickets online now at chilifest.org. Plus camping, team information, and more. ChiliFest 2023, presented by Miller Lite. Miller Brewing Company. Great beer, great responsibility. 21 means 21.
Hi, it's Jenny from Big Deals. Today is Valentine's Day, and we want to show you how much we care. All day today, save an additional 15% off your order. No code needed. Why the extra savings? Because, well, we love our customers. Shop local, buy local, and save big this Valentine's Day with Big Deals.
Shop the sale today, only at AggielandBigDeals.com.
Brazos Running Company, located in Century Square, knows the right shoe makes all the difference. They are passionate about running and fitness and for finding the shoe that fits your stride and style. In addition to sought-after running shoe brands like On and Hoka, Brazos Running Company now carries Birkenstock shoes, and they are the only place in town to carry Vuori clothing, one of the hottest athletic wear brands in the country. So come shop Aggie-owned and operated Brazos Running Company in Century Square below Star Cinema Grill in College Station.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You can hang out with me, Louis Bellina, weekdays 11 to 2, presented by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service. 2 remarkable businesses, 1 great family. Sure, we talk a lot of maroon and white. We love our Aggie sports. Plus, we go national with Joe Sheehan in New York and Nashville with Braden and Mitch. And we got our local guys like Logan and Olin, too. It's the Louis Bellina Show, weekdays 11 to 2, and it's presented by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, time for a little track and field talk. It is brought to you by Brazos Running Company, your local Aggie-owned specialty running store. Save 10% in-store when you mention the code TexAgs10 and check out the new location there in Century Square. All right, so we've got Coach Milton Mallard, who does the mid-distance there at A&M, and Coach Kurt Henry, sprints and hurdles. No Coach Pat Henry, so I guess I'm going to have to lean on you guys to help me get better at all my fitness questions.
We're here for you.
Hey, thank you so much for coming in. So one of the things that was sent my way that I think is very interesting, at least big picture, that can work for not only collegiates and people trying to be the very best, but even those people at home, the weekend warriors that run the 5Ks and whatnot, about hydration. You guys have any opinions and just kind of direction you tell your athletes on the importance of being hydrated?
Well, I guess for me, I can lead off with this question. I think hydration is important for the weekend warrior or if it's a student athlete here at Texas A&M. It leads to many benefits in regards to sleep and also being able to have water and hydration intake to be able to provide nutrients throughout the systems and also the cells for repair and also health. In regards to sleep, it gives us great sleep if you're well hydrated. So I think hydration works for us as student athletes and with our kids, and also we recommend anyone that wants to have a meaningful life to be able to stay hydrated and drink a lot of water.
And our nutritionists actually come every week and do hydration tests with us because it is so important for our athletes. Yeah,
it's very important. The other thing I wanted to get into is just kind of your background, guys. So I'm looking at some notes that were sent my way. Coach Mallard, you have coached 46 All-Americans, 9 NCAA champions, 5 Olympic medalists in 11 years of coaching. You've been blessed to have some great stellar athletes, huh?
Gosh, hey, I've waken up today. I mean, and I've been blessed to be at an institution that provides atmosphere for me to be able to recruit great athletes, and with Coach Henry and his pedigree, and me being a student athlete with him at LSU, and now working with him at Texas A&M, it's been a great privilege.
Yeah, and Kurt, you left for a little bit, but you came back. Just talk a little bit about your journey back here.
Well, as like Coach Mallard as well, we were both volunteers here, so we needed some more experience. We needed to go, meet people, make connections, because our sport is a connection sport. It's who you know, and then they'll send those kids your way. So just making those connections were huge for us. And like Coach said, we've been blessed around great athletes. We recruit a whole lot together. And he says a lot of the time, we're just here to walk beside you. We're trying to guide you, get you there. So just learning those processes and learning how to develop an athlete kind of got me back to here. And we needed those things to get back to here.
Yeah, and I was going to say for both of you, sometimes you're more therapist than you are coach, right? Your friend, your mentor, your brother, you're hard on them when you have to be. You also pick them up when you have to be. That's part of the balance you have to both go through, right?
Right. Obviously, we're educators, right? We're in a position to be able to counsel athletes. We're here to be able to discipline athletes in a manner for them to be able to get the results that they need for themselves, and also the results that we need for our team. So I think all of those things are encompassing in what our roles are here at Texas A&M, and especially as coaches and educators.
I'm looking at this past weekend: Houston, Boston, Clemson. The team is pretty split up. How challenging can that be? But also provides opportunities, correct?
I'll take this one. Yeah, I mean, Coach Henry is definitely against that most of the time. We're a team sport, but at the end of the day, we're an individual sport that makes a team. So giving people some opportunities to go to all the way to Boston for our distance runners, because it is like a distance carnival. I mean, Coach saw 18 heats of the men's or women's 5K. I mean, it just giving the athletes the actual opportunity to make the national meet, which is top 16 in the country, which is absolutely very, very hard to make. Just giving those opportunities is what they needed this weekend. So,
can I ask you about this young man? So he gets this in the last year. So when he first started on this show a year ago, we knew he was good, right? And then, I kept on seeing the tweets about him breaking this record, and I'm like, this guy's going to walk. He came into work today in a Ferrari with sunglasses on, a boombox. He knows he's bringing it. Just talk about the success he had this weekend, breaking that 5,000-meter school record.
Well, I know for me, I was able to witness it and also watch his maturation over the last several years in regards to his growth. He's one of our leaders on our team, and to see him to fulfill and be basically a legend overnight of being the school record holder here at Texas A&M, I think it's a fantastic thing, and he's continuously to get better, and we're excited about his future here at Texas A&M.
Coach Mallard, if I can keep it with you, can you talk a little bit about Bailey Goggins and Sunu?
Sunu Jallo.
Sunu, okay, yeah.
Both young student athletes. Gosh, we're excited about having both of these young ladies in our program. I think, as we all know, as a sports fanatics, that iron sharpens iron. I think both of those athletes have a lot of potential. We continuously to work hard at the 800 meters, also the 400 meters, and also the relays. So I think both of them are working together very well. Both of them are young student athletes on our program, but I think they have a bright future here at Texas A&M.
So you were in Boston. Were you at Clemson?
I was in Clemson. Yes,
so how was that experience?
Clemson's different because they don't have a warm-up area. I mean, you're inside tents with heaters blowing on you. There was 28 teams there this weekend, so there was, 22 heats of the women's 200. I mean, there's a lot going on. So it's a circus at points there. But, we had outstanding marks there, and the competition level really brought it out of our athletes, which is what we're trying to do, give them this competition. Yeah.
Let's go back to Eric Casares over there at the News and Social Center. Eric, I know you've got a couple questions for the coaches.
Yeah, I'll start with you, Coach Mallard. So how have you stayed motivated with the team in the absence of a guy like Sam Withmarsh and Josh English? And, losing Brandon Miller. How have you? What has been your biggest message to the team? Losing guys like that.
Work still need to be done. Right, I think with those athletes that are not here currently, some athletes are kind of have a few injuries that we continue to work through, and then also losing Brandon Miller to professional ranks. It can be a challenge, right? But I think the most important thing is that we're a team. Right, and no one person is bigger than our team. So we continue to try to get better, work with them, continue to keep them motivated. It's a great thing to be able to see a person model as a Brandon Miller to see how far you can go with hard work. Sam Whitmarsh, also get to witness and learn from Brandon and Devin Dixon, and so I think those athletes are eager to get back, and we're just excited about getting those athletes back. So,
Eric?
And Coach Kurt, you've been here before. This is your second stint here. What is something you've noticed that feels different than this time around than your first time here?
I think the athletes in general. Athletes are just getting so much bigger, stronger, faster these days. It's unbelievable. Or in your case, just skinnier and faster. Just the athletes in general. Everybody across the country is getting faster. So, I mean, just the developmental process of every athlete and how much stronger people are getting is probably the biggest difference I see.
Coach Short, if you can give us an update on Connor Schulman and his progress and how it's helping really just the whole team.
Yeah, and Connor was a walk-on onto our team. He not the most talented athlete to come on, but he's worked really hard to get himself to this position. He's gone through injuries, a lot of different things here. So, just his fitness level is unbelievable right now. He's running at the highest level he's ever run just because, he looks like you. He's tore up right now. He has muscles coming out of everywhere. So he's very, very good fitness right now is probably the best way of saying it. So just anytime we can have somebody else step up to the plate to help the overall team, that's a huge step up for us. So we just hope Connor can get a little bit better because it looks like he's going to have to run about 200s faster to make the national meet here. So
yeah, and here we are at SEC Championships coming up. Just your thoughts as we get a little closer.
Best time of the year. I think this is what we're shooting for. I think it's been dress rehearsal all the way up until this point. I think our athletes are really focusing in and really being the team at this point. We're having our best results and best performances and best marks at this part of the year. So we're just trying to stay focused and get ready for our SEC and moving into nationals.
I'm seeing that the 4x400 team did not compete this past weekend. So is that a good thing to get a little rest? Is it what should we expect?
Well, they didn't really get rest because they still ran open events. So Coach actually gave them an opportunity to specialize in their own individual events this weekend, which, of course, Coach always wants to run a 4x4. We still ran a 4x4 this weekend. We just gave some other people some opportunities because, 6 to 8 people we have in the lineup for that 4x4, and the best person at that day is the people we want on there. So he's trying to just give everybody so many opportunities. So, when it's down to it, we're ready to line it up with any of them. So,
Coach Kurt, Coach Mallard, thank you so much. Appreciate
you so
coming
much.
in. That was fun. Let's do it again. No
Yes,
doubt
sir.
about that. That interview is brought to you by our good friends at, tell them what, Eric. See if you remember.
Brazos Running Company.
There you go. Making sure your local Aggie-owned specialty running store. Making sure he's paying attention. Save 10% in store when you mention the code TexAgs10 and check out the new location at Century Square. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back in a few on TexAgs Radio.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Bush School, in partnership with the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, invite you to join them on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. for the 4th annual Salute to the Divine Legacy of Black Sororities and Fraternities. Register for the free event at calendar.tamu.edu. Registration is now open for Harvey Little League. Register your kid or be a Harvey sponsor by going online to brianharveylittleLeague.com. The deadline is February 16th. Support the Sexual Assault Resource Center through their Be a Light campaign by making a donation at sarcbv.org. Brazos County Master Gardeners invites you to an educational program titled Endangered Iris Preservation, Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. at the Brazos County Extension Office. You can hear A&M women's basketball on the Zone. The men play on WTAW 1620-94.5, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Smooth skin begins with hydrating ingredients. Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion nourishes your skin with all-day hydration for deeply moisturized results that give you confidence like buttery soft shoulders like and visibly smooth skin like. Quench your skin with nourishing moisture from Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion. Try Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash too and get skin your face will envy.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
As a real estate agent in the Brazos Valley, we have a few questions for you. Do you desire to grow your business? Are you passionate about exceeding client expectations? Would you rather work with a local company backed by Compass, the largest independent brokerage in America? What are you waiting for? Lone Star Realty Group, a strong local brand with instant recognition, awaits your move. Contact William Sears at LoneStarBCS.com. Your success is just a click away. Lone Star Realty. Experience, integrity, results. An equal opportunity employer.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Patrick Mahomes is already one of the great quarterbacks ever. Are they a dynasty?
I think they're a dynasty. You get to 5 AFC championship games, 3 Super Bowl appearances, you win 2 of them. Your quarterback is a 2-time MVP. He's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. You have a Hall of Fame coach, maybe one of the top 5 greatest coaches of all time. It's the start of a dynasty.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Enjoyed that conversation. Usually it's Coach Henry, and I'm like picking his brain about all these things I want to work on. It was fun to have those gentlemen in there, Coach Mallard and Coach Kurt Henry in studio. Good times had by all. And Erica, very good follow-up questions as well, as you always do. All right, so I am really intrigued by tomorrow's matchup because it's one of those another test, and I'm talking about A&M basketball, obviously. It's another one of those tests that A&M seems to keep passing or, correcting. Let's look at the big picture schedule, if you don't mind, Nick, back there, because if you look at the season in chunks, right? We looked at the beginning part of the season as, all right, this is going to be an easier part. And by the way, it was the easiest part of the season. We thought that, but at that time, we thought of LSU being better, and then we looked at Missouri probably not being as good, and they were really good, right? And then the South Carolina game was a beatdown. You beat Florida again. All right, so that was a chunk of the season. I kind of look at that as one chapter. And then that next chapter, you start off with a loss. Bam, all right? And then you find a way to destroy, and you lost to Kentucky, I should say. You find a way to destroy Auburn, which you did a couple times. The Vandy game was a grind-out victory, but then you had the travel, and I felt like that was that next chapter. And you look at that chapter and you go, all right, you go 2-2 in that stretch. All right, it's not ideal, but it wasn't bad. Well, and you beat, at that time, number 15 Auburn, right? Then you go to the next stretch, and you're looking at it. All right, and I consider Arkansas part of this stretch. Georgia, Auburn, LSU, then Arkansas. Win. We'll see what happens tomorrow against Arkansas. Another chapter. And then I think you start maybe the most grueling part of it. But you've been passing these tests, right, with either, flying colors or just average colors. And you'll take the average colors at times. If you can beat Arkansas, that makes this chapter just amazing. But then you got that Mizzou stretch with at Mizzou, Tennessee, at Mississippi State, at Ole Miss, right? That is a test in its own. And then we'll find out what that Alabama game means at the end of it all. Is it possible you're playing for, potentially first place in the SEC? Are you playing to keep second place in the SEC? Are you fighting for your tournament lives after that point? Like, there's a lot of different scenarios. But if you look at where A&M has gone through this part of the season, right, and you're like, they have not only been a positive, they've surpassed every test that they've had, right? I mean, Arkansas, like, you do not want to have 2 losses to Arkansas. Obviously, you don't ever want 2 losses. But if you can win this one and win those 4, you've built up so much cachet and so much goodwill towards this tournament. And then, you take your chances at Mizzou, and hopefully Tennessee is still a little bit of a rut. You got to go to Mississippi State, who's playing a lot better. You got to stay in town, by the way. You're not leaving. You're taking on Ole Miss. I believe that is the case. You'll stay there in between the 2 games. And then you got finish it up with Alabama. And hopefully the SEC tournament doesn't matter. You win a game, and then whatever happens, but you don't tire yourself too much, and you move on to the next point, right? Hopefully that is what we see with this team, because it is a grueling stretch, but they keep passing tests, and they do that with different people leading the way. A year ago at this point, I think a year ago at this point they're in the middle of the losing streak, but regardless, a year ago your chances were, can Q carry you across the finish line? And this team is built differently. By the way, I saw a note that Quentin Jackson scored his first NBA points yesterday. Congratulations to Quentin for that. I need to. He's supposed to join us on the show at some point, so we'll try to work on that. But back to the topic, like, this team now is being carried to the finish line with different people on a given night. If it's Wade Taylor, leading the act. If it's Julius Marble in the paint, like, give me the ball. I'm gonna get you that baby hook. If it's Boots giving you 25, right? There's different guys. If it's Henry on a certain night. We talked about the game against Arkansas where he went 18 and 15. Goodness gracious. Get some other guys to step up in that. And then you've got the bench guys, right? The bench dudes have, and that's probably not the best nickname, but like those guys, I think it was Buzz yesterday who said that like Solo wouldn't even want to start. He likes his role. Excuse me, not Solo, Anderson Garcia. He likes his role. He likes coming off the bench and knowing what he has to do and getting significant minutes. And then Solo's development. As he said about Wade yesterday, the game is kind of slowing down for him. You can see it in real time with Solo, the game slowing down. It's been fun to watch. Eric, how do you take in the games when you're traveling like that? You just watch on your phone?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about basketball, right? Like, just like if I'm watching a basketball game? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big sports guy, so obviously I'm going to try to watch it as, whether I'm on a plane, I'm in the bus, I'm in the hotel room. I got to find, I'll just watch it on my phone. I got ESPN Plus, so be able to, just watch it my TV provider and try to keep up to date with it as much as I can. So
I will tell you that has been one of the coolest things about, there's a lot of cool things about technology, and I think your generation takes it for granted, but like that I can watch a game pretty much anywhere I get internet access, right? If I want to watch the Aggies but still be a present father at a certain event, I can do that, right? I can't tell you how many times I've had a practice going on, and I'm watching my daughter's practice or my boy's practice, and I'm watching the Aggie game, and I'm writing notes on a notepad. I got the phone in my lap. I'm watching her, giving her a head nod. Good job, sweetie, and then be able to take in the game. That part is awesome.
I'll tell you what, I'll be packing Reed on Wednesday night, though. I'll be there.
You better be there. I'll be there as well, my friend.
Let's go.
I just dropped in my friend. We should have a ding every time I drop in my friend. Nick, can we work on that?
Yeah, that can be something we can
Or anytime you say
look
something
into.
in Spanish, too.
We can do that, too. Nuño, the whole thing's going to be ding, ding,
Oh,
ding,
how
ding.
about every time you mention Batman? Because I know Batman's your favorite superhero.
So basically what you're saying, just play the emergency thing, like whenever there's an emergency on a TV station, it makes that noise, basically, because everything you just said is the entire show. And every time I mention A&M football, ding, like, come on, Eric. Just kidding. When we come back on TexAgs Radio, we did set up a little basketball talk. John Puglisi going to join us at the top of the hour. Tomas has got some highlights for us. Tom Hart, he took one for the team. He said, you know what? I know you got Schloss and Buzz on Mondays. I'm going to turn to Tuesdays for you to make room for the guys. So I appreciate him moving there to Tuesdays. We'll have that. We will get to your phone calls and your text messages. I haven't heard anything about the live stream, Old Ag. I think we're still going well. 979-693-1150 is our hotline number. It is also the AMB text line, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking. The website is anb.com. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back there with John Puglisi and break down this Arkansas game next on TexAgs Radio.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with former Fox News reporter Rick Leventhal and compares notes on their meeting with Alex Rodriguez.
It's good to know, first of